on the latest news of CKG Sound.
Today we're bringing you the latest news in hip-hop and the music world.
First topic we will be going over today is the Cassidy versus HitMan Holla.
So everybody's talking about this this rap battle, and it's very controversial because there's some people who.
How, Slay? How?
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. This rap battle is very controversial. Some people were saying that HitMan was getting very emotional. I don't know. What's your take on this, Alonzo?
Yeah, I think he was acting like a little bitch.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
Whoa, all right.
Yeah, no, I think, you know what I mean? I think he was very passionate in what he does, you know what I mean? And I think Cassidy is too. But I think Cassidy, he's been doing it for a long time, so he's, you know what I mean? He knows how to handle himself in a situation. He knows not to put his emotions first. And I feel like with HitMan, I feel like, you know what I mean, he lets a lot of his emotions out and people like to attack him for that. And it frustrates him, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Very, very valid points, Alonzo. You guys heard it here first. HitMan and Cassidy. Emotional? Too emotional? Will we ever hear the real battle? Who knows? Thank you for this story. All right, guys. So bringing you into our next topic, we're going to cover something called NFTs.
What the hell is an NFT?
Oh, you've never heard of an NFT? Wow. Well, as an upcoming artist in the music world, it's definitely something that you should know about. I wonder if we could get an expert opinion on this topic.
Don't we have someone backstage?
As a matter of fact, we do. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to bring in a very special guest, somebody who needs no introduction, somebody whose artists have been being streamed millions and millions of times on multiple platforms, and who's currently holding a #2 spot in on the Billboard right now. Very exciting news, everybody. So let's put our hands together and welcome our guest,
Justin Bieber.
That's for next episode.
Oh, okay. Sorry, wrong episode.
All right, guys. Dylan Nichols.
Dylan Nichols.
Hello, good sir.
What's going on?
Hello, Dylan. Thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We're just going to bring you in a little closer to us, sir. Make sure our wonderful viewers can see you at home. And make sure everybody at home watching is interacting. And, if you have any questions for Dylan, make sure you guys drop it in the comments. So, Dylan, let's tell the people a little bit about who you are and, how you've made your mark a little bit in this music world.
Yeah, I first got into the music industry in 2017. I was just a digital marketer for a bunch of artists. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with that. I ended up meeting a good friend of mine now, Squalls, and I was like, hey, I want to learn how to manage. And so I learned how to manage through him, and then I got into artist management at a higher level, and then just this past year, we formed a record label, TNT Records, and as Ashley said, currently our latest record that was released in December is #2 on the Billboard dance charts.
Wow, guys. Let's show some love for that one. Yeah, shout out to TNT Records. Yeah, and that just only, barely covers it. And, you guys will get to hear a lot more about Dylan and from Dylan this evening. But we're going to have him, part of the show and kind of giving a little opinion on, the music world.
Now, going back to what you were saying earlier, what the hell is an NFT?
So an NFT is a non-fungible token. It's very similar to when you think of like Bitcoin or Dogecoin or anything like that.
I was thinking Super Mario.
Well, that too. Basically what it is instead of having a coin that's, transferable like you see with Bitcoin, it's more of an image. And recently, one of the artists in the electronic field, Blau, he released the NFT. He was one of the first ones to attach it to a release, and it sold for $11 million. So what he did was, there's kind of two, and the way I understand it, there's kind of like two realms of NFTs. You have one that's just more, something very exclusive graphically from an artist. Like, you can have an exclusive logo, something that only you hold and then you can trade. And then there's kind of what Blau did, which he tied a very exclusive release to it, meaning that the music was only available to that person. Okay. So it's a new way and I think for a long time the artists were trying to feel like, how can I take my brand even a step further? What can I do to give more exclusive content, and not just content, to my audience? And I think this was a great way to showcase kind of where we are in today's atmosphere with things like Bitcoin, but take it to a whole nother level.
So it sounds like you're saying pretty much in a way that, like, you know, an artist would like take their artwork or their art and you know, sell it as almost like a Bitcoin cryptocurrency in a way.
Oh, at the base level, yes. That's kind of the way to think of it, is something very exclusive, you know, whether it be an animated video, animated graphic, something that only the person that currently holds it has access to. So it's just, you know, when you think of it, it's like, think of Pokemon cards. Like, you always want the rarest one. And when you think of NFTs, it's kind of similar, except for there's only one of one. And that's what people are doing right now. It's a very lucrative market, and a lot of people are getting involved. And it's cool to see people kind of take over their own identity that for so long I think was shrouded by, you know, is this going to be good for my publicist? Is this going to be good for my label? And, you know, labels are involved too, but I think it's a cool way to kind of take it a step further.
Okay.
Very, very interesting.
Very well said.
Yeah, so going off of what he's saying, you know, I actually just seen Lupe Fiasco. He is, you know, using NFTs, and he's re-releasing a album from 2006 using the NFTs and getting paid a whole different way. So it's definitely a very interesting conversation for artists to have, especially with, you know, Bitcoin and Coinbase being more in our conversation. So thank you for shedding some light onto that topic.
Thank you, Dylan.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So we're gonna get a little more serious and get into some more news things here, and bring us on to our next topic. So, of course, unfortunately, you know, we wanted to make sure we had a chance to talk about this and, you know, give our condolences to DMX, as, you know, he has recently passed away. And, you know, it's super important to talk about things like, you know, mental health and addiction and, you know, things of that matter. So basically, you know, you guys make sure that, you know, you send that love out, you know, take a moment to send love to his family, and, you know, to just respect his touch on the culture. Because regardless of who you are or what stage of life you're at, you can't say you've never heard Rough Riders or, you know, the remix, the Reading Rainbow with DMX.
Right.
So,
and shout out to Rough Riders and everybody out in New York who had that big ceremony for DMX. That was crazy. Yeah,
for sure. And you know what I mean? Whenever somebody goes in the music world, it's like everybody feels that. It don't matter what genre, it don't matter, you know what I mean, where you're from. It's like people still are affected by that. So definitely rest in peace, DMX. Thank you, guys. All right. So now this is going to be the fun topic. So Lil Nas X has recently released
don't even get me started.
Let's let the people be the judge of that. Let's let the people, you know. So Lil Nas X released a very controversial music video and song. And, you know, it's very interesting. We want to give people the time to give their opinions and, you know, see what the people are thinking. Some people are offended by the message. Other people are saying that it's standing for something and it's, you know, kind of taking power back. You know, there's a lot of different perspectives of it. I don't know. Alonzo, what do you think?
Let's go to you, Dylan.
Dylan, what do you think?
So the way I looked at it when it first got released, I'm somebody that's huge into visual representation of music, and
it's the devil.
Alonzo.
There was, you know, you take this kid who had a huge #1 Billboard hit with Old Town Road, and after that he decides to come out, and a lot of people weren't receptive of that, and he got a lot of the comments that, you know, you're going to hell for this. This is blasphemy. You shouldn't, you know, participate in this, and it's inspiring our youth to do something unholy. So what's he do? He does exactly what they want him to do. You know, he's like, okay, if I'm going to hell, then this is what I'm doing. So when I watched it, knowing all of that, I thought it was kind of poetic justice. Like, it was kind of like, you say this is what I'm doing, so here I go. And so I kind of, you know, for me personally, I understand that it's, you know, it's a tough subject matter for young children to see, but in the same same kind of, you know, the way I see it is, you know, you said this to this young artist for so long, and so he kind of did it as like, you know, what the hell, you know, this is, I'm sticking it to you with this. And you know, he did something very unique in a sense, you know, releasing a shoe, and I know that that's another controversial matter. He took, you know, kind of like what we talked about the NFT, he took a very exclusive approach to it, only releasing a certain amount of them. And it was highly successful marketing. I think it's already number 1 on Billboard, or very close. So it was a very, you know, in the music industry, for the most part, bad publicity can be good publicity. Everybody wanted to, it sent millions of people to check out the music video. It sent millions of people to stream the song, to check the shoe out.
That's true.
So, you know, I would say it was, I don't want to say it's just a smart move, but I also think it's a way of him just getting back at the people that gave him so much hell over, you know, no pun intended, so much hell over being who he wanted to be.
Right. And like I said, I definitely understand, like, you know, expressing yourself, you know, especially, you know, coming from the gay community and stuff. Like, if you're trying to express yourself and stuff like that, I get it. But, like, watching that video and then, like, you know, trying to, with that perspective in my head, just trying to watch that video, it's like, you know, it's hard for me because it's like I see more demonic, satanic stuff in that video more than, like, you know, him trying to express himself as, like, you know what I mean? Like, telling the world, like, hey, fuck y'all. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that too. But I also think that it was just seeing all that imagery was a chance to be extremely bold. Like, go as far as you can. I mean, you look at the 90s, you listen to Immortal Technique's song Dance with the Devil. It was extremely controversial.
True.
But it spoke a message.
Very true.
And that's kind of what I got out of that as well.
And if you think about it, I mean, if you think about the rock scene and how they did stuff and stuff, they've done it for years. So it's like, in a way, he's kind of just taking what they did and just threw it into the hip hop scene and now has everybody shook, like, whoa, what just happened? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I do feel like there is this, like, shock factor or, like, wow factor people try to do when they incorporate things that are, like, evil or, like, you know, quote unquote, you know, dark type of stuff. They just do that because they know people are going to look at it too and be like, wow, like, can you believe what he just put out? Like, you have to go see that shit. You know what I mean? So I definitely know there's a marketing tactic behind it too, and I could see where, you know, the message as well ties into that.
I think the message is the marketing tactic.
Right, true.
I think it is. I think it was so long, you know, so many people were checking him out again after, you know, he came out, you know, as being gay. So many people went and checked his music out then. And then he was like, then that's when he caught a lot of hate. And he was like, hey, so I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to take this message. And even if I truly don't believe the content matter that's coming out, I'm going to use it against you, and I'm going to make you stream my music. I'm going to make you watch my video. Very powerful in that sense that he was able to, even if you hated it, you still watched it. So he still got paid off of it.
True. Now let's go to the live audience. What do you all think on the subject of the matter?
Anybody have a you know, comment?
Hip Hop Koala, what you think?
Let's bring the Hip Hop Koala in.
Hip Hop Koala, bring him in.
He said no.
Oh, okay.
What do y'all think?
I think it's a new take on the highway to hell. The stripper pole to hell.
Okay. That's true.
That's an interesting talk. Okay, I can see.
What anybody else? Anybody else? What do they think? What do they think? You think it's satanic or not? You think it's sending a message to the people, the industry? You think it's art? What do you guys think in the comments? Let us know on the Facebook Lives.
Sending a message.
You have a comment?
We got a comment? I don't see it. All right, hold on. We got a comment.
If anybody in the comments, let us know what you think.
All right, let's see. Oh, hey, look. Why don't you grab that? Why don't you go on and just grab that there? Oh, we got a couple things going on. Okay.
All right.
Let's see what the people are saying.
They say, yo, this is sick, a vibe. Are we able to ask a question? Yes. You can ask whatever question you feel like. Right now we're on the topic of Lil Nas X, and we just want to let people know what they think about it. What about death metal bands in the early 90s? Dylan, would you like to touch on that subject?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't always acceptable. You mean you had the church, you know, even going further back, look at Led Zeppelin and, you know, what they used to catch from, you know, the religious organizations, and they did the same thing. You know, they did a lot of purposeful messaging then afterwards, because it's like, hey, it's gonna piss you off, so I'm gonna do it more. And yeah, you look at death metal, and then it ended up becoming somewhat acceptable. Like you knew that after so long that doing it, eventually people just were either going to move on and stop talking about it, or you were gonna, you know, it was gonna be okay. So I think that it was just really a culture shock for like hip hop, the imagery isn't really there with that. It's more like, you know, very spiritual. It's a spiritual, you know, genre in my opinion for the most part.
So someone says it's art, but the industry has satanic ties naturally. It's still kind of dope. Shout out to Tay.
And I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, you know what I mean? It's the first episode. We don't want to dive in too deep, you know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, there's definitely, you know, there's things that are quote unquote conspiracies, and then there are things that are fact but just aren't known yet. So, you know, you got to know the difference, and you have to keep an open mind with some things, but also don't run around and be all full of fear and stuff either, because then you're just going to be distracted all your life, and that's what the man wants. So don't do that. All right, awesome. Anything else on this topic? Anybody want to add anything, or?
Dylan, you got anything in mind? Anything else?
No, I just think, you know, personally, would I have done it? Probably not. But do I understand why he did it? You know, from a 300-foot view, yeah. I mean, it was, in my opinion, it was all the backlash that he caught from coming out, and he kind of just put that energy back into it and said, okay, well, now I'm going to piss you off again. So that's the way I view it. And yeah, I'm sure there's other things to it, but he also found a clever way to even market more and add shoes into it and do a whole brand and have, you know, it go viral on TikTok. It was smart, in my opinion. It was a smart branding tactic.
Yeah, because not just...
Chad Thundercock said, or the heavenly satanic themes or fascist-aligned music made by black metal musicians in Norway, bands like Mayhem, Borzum, and most notably as late Behemoth. Lisa Love says it's 100% satanic. Nowadays, it takes a bigger person to be true to yourself. If this is done, as Dylan said, they say I'm this. What? They say I'm this, so I'll be this.
If this was done, as Dylan said, they say I'm this, so I'll be this. Then everyone accused of being a drug addict is a rapist, a gang member. Just give in and do it. Illuminati. All press is not good press.
Whoa.
Am I allowed to say that word?
Hold
on the air. I feel like we've already said a lot of things.
I feel like we just threw the red pill down everybody's throat.
No, and listen, like I said, again, you know, we'll have a whole other episode where we get deep into, like, you know, conspiracies or what could not be conspiracies. You know, we all have our personal opinions about things for sure, but there are some evil things in the world, and that's what I'm going to leave it at for me. You want to read that last comment before we wrap this topic up?
Back to Thunder. He said, not to mention that we have hip-hop like 3 6 Mafia and the entire genre of devil shit.
And people forget about 3 6 Mafia. You feel me? Like,
yeah,
people don't forget, though.
People don't forget.
You know, when you're looking at a high level of hip-hop, and this is just coming from working in the industry for a long time, you start to blend it with pop culture and just being in pop in general. So people say pop, a lot of times they think of, like, bubbly pop songs. But actually, you know, Lil Nas and anybody that's at a level becomes a pop singer, a pop rapper. And artists like 3 6 Mafia, you know, all the different, you know, I think they're called...
it is called something.
Yeah, there's just, like, you know, this whole kind of, like, emo rap that deals a lot with that. That's more acceptable because it's almost an underground niche topic still. And when you take it to somebody who's literally one of the biggest artists right now in the industry, that's why I think causes more of a shock factor.
Makes sense.
People going in on the comments. Okay.
They said Lord Infamous made hella evil shit all the time, and even DJ Paul, who went platinum on Drake's album Scorpion, he produced it, always touching on themes of hell and using the Antichrist's imagery.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about it.
He is talking facts, though.
666.
All right, yo. It's getting a little dark, little wavy warriors. It's like,
let's bring it back to the news.
All right, guys. So.
All right. So it says, for each of you, who's your favorite member of the Wu-Tang Clan?
Definitely Method.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Method.
Gotta go with Method.
Dylan?
Oh, shit. Oh.
I'm working electronic music.
Yeah.
Roast me in the comments.
All right, guys. So that's going to be the wrap-up of our news for today.
Yes.